This is the rarest track in all of iRacing. It is so rare that you can only drive on this track for less than 10 days per year. Welcome to the Stafford Mini Mile. But how is this even possible, you ask? Well, if you watched one of my previous videos, you might have the answer already, but essentially this track is only available during the downtime test servers. So I woke up at 5 a.m. to try out this track in a bunch of different cars to show you guys for this video. Oh boy, I never thought I'd get to add somebody to this list. And then I realized the test servers are now up for 24 hours instead of just the few hours of downtime. Well, at least I can get this laminated now. The first thing I noticed when loading into the session was that the info for this track was completely incorrect. The funniest thing was that it says there are 7 turns on this track, which if there are 7 turns on this track, then man, even us oval guys are really bad at counting turns, I guess. It also says this track is half a mile long, which I refuse to believe because I have driven at all of the tiny Legends ovals in iRacing. This thing can't be more than 0.2, 0.3 miles long. I was kind of surprised that there were cameras set up for TV1, TV2, and TV3 that actually looked at the track. I was expecting it to be completely broken and neglected, but it seems like some of the stuff from when it used to be in the game has carried over. But enough of the semantics, let's see how this track drives. I first tried to drive this track in the Legends car as it seemed it was the most fitting for this track and honestly probably the only car that would go on this track in real life that's in iRacing. I think I heard previously that this was meant to be more of a go-kart track than a regular car track. This track shares a lot in common with the standard Legends oval as it is completely flat and very short, so there's not much opportunity to build up speed. But at the same time, this track is a little bit different in that the straightaways are longer than a lot of the Legends ovals that are currently in the game, at least relatively to the super tight corners. Another defining feature of this track is the bumps on the backstretch where it's really hard to set up for turn 3 because you go through these bumps right before turning in and you really want to take those bumps straight or else you get a little bit loose going into the corner. And who would I be if I didn't point out the absolutely ridiculous pit road that this track has? I am not even sure what the official pit entrance is supposed to be. I assume it's this access road that you have to drive all the way to the beginning of turn 3 of the oval and then come back around into the shortest pit road of all time. But there is nothing that specifically says it has to be like that, so you can just cut the grass, take a 1x and shave like 20 seconds if you want to do that. I also did some laps in the ARCA car on this track because why wouldn't I? I'm the ARCA farmer after all, and this was really hard to get a grasp of in the ARCA car because of the amount of power and the tight corners mixed together. But that's the beauty of these offline test sessions during the updates is that you can try any car you own on this track and just go balls to the wall and have fun. And speaking of that, the last car that I chose to drive on this track was none other than the Formula 1 car, because why wouldn't I? I wanted to try to set the fastest possible lap time on this track with any car, and I think the Formula 1 car is the one to do it after the IR01 updates, and so I took it for some laps and here was my fastest one.
You just set the fastest lap.
So overall, while it might not be the most interesting track in the world, this type of content on iRacing is really interesting in the fact that you can only race it for a limited period of time. Maybe iRacing didn't even mean for this track to still be in the test session servers and kind of just forgot about it. And if you watched the video where this track was originally covered, you may have also been asking yourself, well, what about the other one? The Summit Point Oval is what I talked about as well, but unfortunately I confirmed while going into a test session that you can just not get off pit road for some reason with that combo. It is completely broken. One funny note about the Summit Point Oval is that it is so broken it doesn't even have a track map inside of the game. So while I would love to have put official lap times down in the Summit Point Oval, unfortunately something is completely wrong with it. But if you want to try it out for yourself, it was kind of funny to see iRacing completely break like that, so go ahead. Leave a comment down below if you were able to try this track out. The test servers might still be up at the making of this video, so tell me about the laps that you did and what cars you tried with it. Alright, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.